Come alive, two ex-players in the studio, ready to thrive. Friends and fans, uniting with the truth, sharing the passion, yeah, that's our proof. Chasing the highlights, where dreams come alive. Two ex-players in the studio, ready to thrive. Friends and fans, uniting with the truth, sharing the passion, yeah, that's our proof. We treasure the legends, those who paved our way. In every single chapter, we're here to stay, breaking down plays.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Chasing the Highlights podcast on this special Thursday afternoon. My name is Lonnie Washington, and I'm here with my good friend, Tony Robinson. Tony, how's it going today, buddy?
Having flashbacks. I'm having flashbacks, brother. Flashbacks.
Yeah. I mean, I understand. I mean, we'll talk about that and a whole bunch of other stuff, but, right away, everybody wants to have an opinion about the game. So I guess that's pretty much, I'm glad we waited till Thursday to actually have the podcast. So like I think I was telling you on Tuesday, hey, we should do this Thursday to see what happens in game 4. Reason being because, there's a lot of different storylines. Now the series is 2-1. And then going into game 4, I was expecting some special things. And I think I got even more than what I was even thinking. And I think the whole world got more than what they even thought that they should even see, and it was kind of unbelievable. And so let's just jump right into it, man. I've been chopping at the bit all day to talk about this game. The Knicks rally from a 29-point deficit to win game 4, 107-106 against the Spurs at the Garden. Okay, MSG, not the Boston Garden, not the TD Bank Garden, the MSG. So initially, I'm just going to kind of toss it to you. When you're watching this game and going into this game and seeing how things kind of unfolded, what are your thoughts, first of all, on the overall game itself?
The overall game was abysmal. It was terrible. Like, I can't believe, like, at the end of the game, I was like, is this bad coaching or is it the players? That's the question I asked myself. But at the end of the day, it comes down to the players, but the coaching was really bad. When in certain situations, like, when they start making runs, it's like you cannot allow them. You got to do something to break it up. When they put those two guards in at the same time, they had Brunson and Alvarado in. That's where everything changed. Yep. In my eyes, from what I was watching, and watching that. To me, in my opinion, it shouldn't have messed anything up. They should have still been like going at Brunson, taking him away like they were doing most of the game, and let Alvarado beat you. Don't let Brunson get into his bag when it is in his fourth quarter bag. He's coming, so focus on him only, because Cat was in foul trouble. There's times where Cat he got his fourth foul or whatever. For me, when he comes back in the game, I'm putting Wemby, you down in the post on him, and you get him into foul trouble. Go at him every single time. Like, we're gonna try to get to the free throw line, get him more foul, get him out of the game. But it just seemed like the coaching, like the young coach, can't really do situations very well. And I want to like totally blame everything on him, because the players have to execute as well. So it's like that's the main thing I saw, was the coaching in situations, and then the players just pretty much accepting this comeback like this is the third comeback they had this series, and that's why I started off by saying, I'm having deja vu, or like I'm having flashbacks of the Cavs doing the same thing.
Yeah, it's really bad.
So what do you think about that?
Well, first of all, the Spurs started off, they were on fire, 76 first half points was the third highest scoring first half in NFL in the NBA finals history. Their first 14, they had 14 3-pointers. They couldn't miss a shot. And at some point, I was saying to myself, wow, this is incredible. And then, when you take a 29-point lead at halftime, you kind of figured, I knew that this game was not over. I knew that there was plenty of time left. I just wanted to see what was going to happen in the second half of the game, whether the Knicks was going to say, you know what, forget it. We're just going to let this slide. But, understanding what happened to the Cavs, with a little bit over 7 minutes left, they came back down by 22 points against the Cavs. I knew this game wasn't over, because now they had a whole half of the finals to be able to go in there and try to win this game and cut into that lead. And so they accomplished everything that they needed to accomplish in that third quarter, that third period, because, cut the lead in half, get it down to 15 something manageable in the fourth quarter. But I wonder really, how I look at it is just how bad that this was a choke job really from the Spurs. It was a choke job. I mean, you can't. I look at this series the way it is now, because if you're looking at analytics, right, this game should be 3-1 San Antonio. Yeah. The only game that I really think that the Knicks really beat them convincingly was game one. They should have won game two. Victor Wembanyama in game two, he had the turnover and then committed the foul, and they lost in the last 10 seconds. He was not good the last 10 seconds of that game. They win that game. Of course, you saw what happened in game three. Game three, that they went in there in the Garden and they took control of that game. They were cool, calm, and collective, and they can beat you on the road. Obviously, last night. So basically, what I look at it is that the last 6 quarters of this series, that Spurs controlled this series for the last 6 quarters. Okay, and so the last 2 quarters, obviously, the Knicks came back and things of that nature. But I think that this is just horrible. The strategy in the third quarter and in the second half to shoot all these threes, I think their first 8 shots in the second half for the few of the Spurs, I think it showed a little bit of arrogance. Like, we want to just knock you out by 50 because we're shooting all these threes early in the shot clock. There was not a 3 taken in the second half in the first 8 that was below 10 seconds. So now, you're missing these threes, you cool off, and now you're getting them the run out on the other end for these long rebounds. And where was the defense? So I just think that overall there was some arrogance by the Spurs. It was a choke job by the Spurs, and that there's no way that we should be looking at a 3-1 lead by the Knicks right now. It's just the inexperience of the young guys with the Spurs, inexperience from the coaching staff, inexperience from Victor Wembanyama, and just the overall team, I think. But the arrogance, I think, is the big thing in the second half that got the Spurs. The arrogance.
Yeah, and I want to piggyback off of that, because when you look at it, they shot like 70-something% in the first half from three, or from total shooting or whatever. But when you're up, when you get a 29-point lead, from my way of thinking, like, okay, they got to catch us. Why are we still shooting threes? Why? Because the analytics say shoot threes. But at the end of the day, when you're up 29, get in the paint, because you already got these guys in foul trouble. Put Wemby in the post, get Wemby at the 3-point line. Mm-hmm. He has to just keep putting pressure on Cat and all those guys, because Cat could have been out of the game. They stopped. They didn't really go in the paint. I'm like, what are y'all doing? And just what you said about the inexperience at the end of the games is just like it could be coaching too, because if I'm a coach and I see that we're up 29 and we have all the foul trouble that we had with their bigs, I'm sending anybody into the paint. Just go at Cat every single time. Yep. Go at Cat, because he's bound to foul you, because that's his MO. He's not a good defensive player. And you take him out, then certain things. I mean, he started getting a little hot towards the end, but he hit a couple shots. But I'm like, it just doesn't make any sense, because I'm like, when you're up that many points, you don't have to shoot threes all the time. And it's just like this new NBA, and it's annoying to me, because I'm like, you got to think like time of possession. Like, time of possession is like, okay, you want to tick that clock down as much as possible. If we have a 29-point lead, they got to catch us. I mean, we're not saying we're not going to be aggressive. If the shot is open, take it. But they're taking a lot of contested 3-point shots too. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, and then you got it's not all on Wemby. It's other players like turn the ball over in bad situations, and like, veterans. I mean, it's like veterans that's supposed to be doing better things. But it's just tough. I mean, I don't know. Yeah,
I mean, for context, I mean, the Spurs shot 60% from the field in the first half, 20.5% from the field in the second half. Crazy. I mean, they were 8 of 39 in the second half. They were 28 of 47 in the first half. Stark difference. Okay. The three-pointers in the second half, the Spurs was 53.8% from 3-point line in the first half. In the second half, they were 17.6% in the second half, and that's what allowed the Knicks to come back in this game. And they had actually more turnovers, 10 in the second half, than field goals made, 8 in the second half of that game.
You can't do that against a team like the Knicks because they're. I mean, I said that they weren't really tested, but when you look at it, they are tested because they've been down a lot in the playoffs. But they just know they come back at the right. They know like you can't. When you have a team like this, you can't have them in striking distance with 7 minutes to go in the game.
Nope.
If you have them down 20 plus, you have to keep your foot on the neck. That's how I was trained when I was playing the ABA and stuff like that. Take their heart, keep their foot on their neck. Don't do like a Kevin Durant when they were in OKC. Had the Warriors down 3-1 and take your foot off the neck, and then can't beat them. Go join the Warriors.
I know, right?
That's a whole different subject. But yeah, you gotta keep your foot on their throat. Like you can't take any you can't give them any room because they gonna sense that, and it's like a wolf seeing blood, or like okay, yeah, we see a chink in the armor. Let's go after that.
Yeah,
and they're really good at that.
So is the
and one last thing, knowing that Brunson is a fourth quarter guy, like a last 5 minute guy, that's coming. They're going to him to give him the ball. So take him away, just like y'all did the whole game. Focus on him because nobody else has that gene in them. I don't think.
No, the clutch gene. That's what you're talking about, right?
The clutch gene,
the clutch gene. So is the loss in Game 4 more for the Spurs, or more about the Spurs? More about the Spurs or the Knicks? The loss in this loss more about the Spurs or more about the Knicks?
I think it's two-sided because knowing how the Knicks are and how they've been playing this whole playoffs, it's partially them too. But the Spurs, like what's his name, the old football coach, he's like, they showed us who they are. We let them off the hook. You can't let the Knicks off the hook.
Dennis Green or Herm
Dennis Green, the coach.
Yeah.
He's like, you pretty much let them off the hook. You can't let a team like the Knicks off the hook because they always gonna stick around, and they're coached very well because Brown is he coached for the Cavs. I know he's a great coach and everything. And just the Spurs having a young coach with young players, situationally, I feel like they're still kind of green. They need more time together and stuff like that because I thought De'Aaron Fox is going to play way better than he's been playing. He's been making turnovers, missing shots, and different things like that. But he has that ankle injury, so I don't know if he's still 100%.
Well, that was the big thing.
80%. Yeah,
the big thing at the end of the game, the ball gets knocked into the backcourt. De'Aaron Fox chases it down, and Anunoby chases him down. And people said that with 11 seconds left, De'Aaron Fox shouldn't have he should have pulled the ball out. You were up by 1 at that point, and De'Aaron Fox, decides to try to get up by 3. Thought it could be Anunoby to the ball to the rim, and Anunoby came out and smacked that ball out the air, which possibly saved the game.
But that's kind of the same. That plays into the part where he usually beats players with his speed, but I think he still has that injury, so he felt like he can do it. But
he didn't have the explosion off that layup too. He didn't have that quick explosion off of his ankle to get up there But I think he's playing in the moment. It's hard to tell a guy that is by the rim to put the brakes on and run around the rim and just dribble out the way to get fouled. That takes a lot of discipline for a guy who is a attack the basket type of scorer. And that's the only thing too. I thought De'Aaron Fox, he settled for a lot of threes in the second half. He didn't try to get to the rim. He didn't, all of the players did, to be honest.
Yeah, they were hit when you're hot in the first half. You kind of stick to that. But for me, when I play, I shoot. If I miss 2 in a row, I'm going to the rack. I got to see the ball going in, get a foul, get to the line, something going. You can't just keep shooting threes, but that's the way of the NBA now. They feel like they have to shoot themselves out of it. And that's
Dylan Harper, man, that kid.
He was going to the rack. Yeah,
he is a beast. All right, he is a fat out beast. For 20 years old and hit them jumpers,
plays like his dad did in Cleveland.
Yeah, 20 years old to play like he did in this game for the Spurs. I was like, man, and where did Castle come from? Castle didn't have any game this time. You know what I'm saying? He didn't do anything in game 4. Game 3, he went off. Game 4 last night, he was kind of like the forgotten factor last night.
Well, I think in certain, like, everything you got to go game by game. So it depends on, because he went off that previous game, so they were trying to take him away.
Yeah. They did.
forced Wemby to win and stuff like that. So it's like it's game by game, it changes. The game plan changes. So and that's probably then it got him out of his game, so he could never come back and like try to do anything because he's missing shots, missing open threes too sometimes. So it's tough.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. I mean, to put a cap on this one, I go back to this where you look at, the way things happen here. They in game one, they blew a 14-point lead, right, in San Antonio. In game two, they blew a 12-point lead. And then, of course, they blew the lead last night, 29 points. I almost feel like this definitely should be the Spurs' series. Is just that they've shot themselves in the foot so much, is that you wonder how can they recover. Now, I will say, if you're a Cavs fan, do the Cavs fans feel better? You believe now watching the Spurs blow a 29-point lead, because they were kind of like the big joke of this playoff season, where they blew a 22-point lead in 7 minutes. This is worse because you've got the Spurs blowing it in the finals, but now I think people in the Cavs camp are going to forget about what happened to them, and now that they can kind of like say, well, you know what, we might have lost by 22, but the Spurs blew a 29-point lead that year in the fourth quarter. How do you think that this is going to kind of play on the Cavs, with the Cavs fans seeing the Spurs blow this kind of lead?
Well, I can see with that. I don't really think of it that way. I just get I just say that the Knicks are who who we thought they are. Like we try to downplay it, but they actually play really good as a team. And I didn't realize until they played us. Like I thought we matched up. They didn't match up well against us, but then they showed us like we match up with anybody pretty much.
Right.
You can have the tallest player in the NBA or whatever. We're gonna find a way because of the coaching. If you have the right coaching and the right players to buy into that coaching philosophy, you can win. You can win anything pretty much.
Mike Brown. Just to think about the coaching job that Mike Brown did, putting Alvarado in, going to a 2-guard system, and he had played 12 guys in rotation. He played 4 centers in this game, right? And it didn't work in the first half. But then he started putting Alvarado in the game to give Brunson a little break from bringing the ball up, and so now you've got another player. Now, when I look back at this game, it says, man, I've never seen Alvarado and Brunson in the game at the same time. And then all of a sudden, that was the trigger. He put Alvarado in the game, and Alvarado was able to bring the ball up the floor, be a quick ball handler. I think he scored 8 to 10 points in this game too. He was able to contribute fresh off the bench. And with Landry Shamet not being able, not playing well, and Bridges not really playing well the last couple of games. Now, they had to send a search party out for Bridges and Shamet the last couple of games. And then now you put Alvarado in. He was a spark plug, and he kind of sparked that whole run in the second half to help them pull off this historic comeback.
Yeah, just like Draymond Green for the Warriors, right? He's the heart of their team, right? And when you look at Alvarado and like the stuff that he does on the back, like on the sideline and stuff like that, when somebody's like, I don't know if you watched him. He's always there to like talk to somebody and like get their spirits up or whatever. And then he comes in and does games like this, and like he's kind of like a mini heart of the team. I know Brunson is the heart of the team right now, but he has a little spiciness to him. I don't know if it's the Puerto Rican in him, but he has this.
Oh yeah, he does. He has a tenacity to him. Remember, he's a New York guy too. He's from New York.
Yeah. Something's there where he's like. He gives them an extra oomph, you know what I'm saying? It's like, and I like those kind of players, even though he's kind of annoying when he tried to pick up Wemby, I'm like trying to be too aggressive. I hate those little guys that always try to like play you all hard, but then when you go at them, they want to cry, you know what I'm saying? I don't like that.
Yeah, and and then one of the storylines I don't think a lot of people are looking at either is that Wemby now has 3 points when it comes to flagrant fouls. He gets one more flagrant foul, and he's suspended. And so the flagrant 2 that he had in the playoffs, against the Timberwolves, And then, now he's got now had he got called in game 3 for knocking Brunson and pushing Brunson to the ground, he could be looking at a suspension for game 5 right now had they called that one a flagrant. And it was a flagrant. Now the league probably said we don't want him to we don't want to take one of the best players off the court.
That's not good for the NBA.
They could have came back before game 4 and made that a flagrant foul on Wemby for what he did, with Brunson, because it was a flagrant foul. Everybody saw it. And Brunson almost thought that he was about to be in a street fight because he forgot all about basketball for a split second there. But in game 3, when he went back at Wemby, yo, bro, he was about to fight until he remembered, we're in the basketball game.
That's the grown man in you. Your grown man kicks in. Is you're not just gonna let somebody push you around or do things, no matter who it is. That scenario should never happen. They should have nipped that in the bud right there. He should have been. To me, I want the Spurs to win, but he should have been ejected for that. Because think of Draymond Green getting ejected for what he did to LeBron back in 2016 or whatever it was. He hit him in the nuts or whatever. It wasn't as worse. It wasn't as worse as what Wemby did to me.
It was worse. Because now you hitting the man in his private. You hitting the man in his private, so it's definitely worse. You're going after a man's,
I get
gene pool at that point.
It looks worse when you sling some a little kid to the floor the Draymond one was the worst, man. That was. I gotta look out for Draymond Green sometimes too, because I did body double.
He don't need you to look out for him because he was rough. That was a rough one.
He's a nice guy though. He's a nice guy though in person.
Yeah, he probably is off the court, no doubt. But yeah, I just think, and then when they called the flagrant one on Wemby with the little elbow on Cat, I thought that was much about nothing really, because I think it was just part of the play. But I think they got him back for what he did to Brunson in game 3, and they says we gotta say something about this one.
Yeah, I get that. And I'm when it happened, I was he's just trying to get through. It wasn't intentional or nothing, but it made contact. The way they articulated it was it was egregious. And I'm no, it wasn't. He was just trying to get through.
That was them. That was the NBA getting their lick back, right? They got their lick back for not calling it on what he did to Brunson in the final game. But now, he's got to be careful. He's got to be careful the way. This game is going to be crazy on Saturday. I don't know really what to think. I don't think anybody knows what to think is going to happen, because to be honest with you, the Knicks could go either way. But then this team is so good, they can flip a switch. The Spurs are so good. They show you how good they are for playing that first half of that game. You was watching that game. It's this is going to be a 2-2 series. The Knicks are in serious trouble, right? That's what everybody thought in the first half of that game.
Yeah, but you can look at the Cavs game. Look at the Cavs game. We were up by 20-something, right? Look at that and how we played after. It could be one of those type of things too. The Spurs were up 29 and then they just fall off the deep end. They just get so discombobulated. Oh, how do we come back from that?
They were lethargic. They were listening to some of the interviews last night after the game. The Spurs team was in shock. They were lethargic. They felt bad. And Wemby kind of said, "Hey, you know what? We're going to see what kind of team we have, how we come back from this." But the Spurs, I think, who do you think is the biggest blame for this loss, though? Because we got to put the blame on somebody, because I think a lot of people are saying Fox, Wemby, or the coach, or coach. And I think, to be honest with you, I have to look at the coach, because the coach could have said in the huddle that unless you have a wide open 3, that ball has to touch the paint. I want that ball moving and get down low into the paint. You need to attack the basket and get to the foul line, or I don't want to take no more 3s. I don't want nobody unless we score the next 8 points. Then we take 3s. We need to get to our spots, 18 feet and in, give it to our big man down low or whatever. But I also thought the coach mismanaged Wemby's minutes. Because, there's no way that Wemby should have played 44 minutes in that game. You were up by 29. Why was he playing most of the second half? He didn't have a rest. And it wasn't like game 3 to where you had a lot of challenges, a lot of timeouts, to where Wemby could get a 3 or 4 minute rest because they were looking at plays and things of that nature while he was on the court. Wemby didn't have to really sit down because they had a lot of timeouts of stop and go of the game. In this game, there was no stop and go in the second half. It was just like a NASCAR race where the Knicks wanted to create a frenetic pace, create chaos, and just get as many buckets as they can to get close to the game. And they played right into it. And Wemby was just flat out tired. In that fourth quarter, the last 7 minutes of that game, he was dragging. When he is, you can tell when Wemby is tired because he flails. He's such he's flailing around. He can't keep his balance. He's kind of all over the place. When he's fresh, he's attacking. He's locked in. But he's flailing all over the place, and he's kind of tall, like this big old stick figure anyway. But I mean, you saw in the second half when he was fresh. I mean, he was shooting the ball, getting his own rebounds, getting tap-ins like he was playing volleyball to tap the ball back in around the basket. But I think that you have a young coach, 38, 39-year-old coach, inexperienced, and a lot of his inexperience have really showed too in this. Versus we look at what Mike Brown has been doing, who's this veteran dog. He's a flat-out dog veteran coach. And the way that he's operated with his team, man, orange and blue skies, orange and blue skies for New York. But I think, in my opinion, the biggest blame is, you said the players, I say the coach, and a little bit of mix. And De'Aaron Fox, he's the oldest guy on this team. He has to know better in a lot of these different situations too.
Well, I said both too. I said, the coach has to take blame. The player, to me, at the end of the day, because I was a player, I would never blame the coach, because I know in certain situations what we should be doing. Like, they have to have because they're young, they don't have the mental IQ to, like, game time situations and stuff like that. I mean, they've been playing. They played a couple seasons right now. You played 82 games before. You played the playoffs before. So it's like, you have to know, in order to win the game, what to do. Yeah. It comes down to the coach, but it also comes down to the players executing. We don't know if he said, like, let's try to get to the hole more. We don't know that. I mean, he could have said it, but players play how they play in the moment, right? So if they see shots that are open up, like 3-point shots, whatever, they're gonna take it. And in this day and age of how the game is played, but when situations, when Cat has 4 fouls, when you're up by 29, all these different things as a player, like, if I'm on the court, when I was playing, I knew all this, and I was like, just like probably like LeBron does, because he knows all the game time situations and stuff like that, what's going on. So he's like, go at him, he has 4 fouls, go at him, I'm trying to drive to him too to get the fouls or whatever. But at the end of the day, it's going to fall on the coach because of the inexperience and stuff like that. Because we see from the Knicks side, the Knicks has a veteran coach that he knows what he's doing, and the players kind of form to what the coach's philosophy, and it's like a hard-nosed philosophy if you think about it. And it's how the Cavs played when we had Mike Brown as well. Because hats off to Mike Brown, because all the different places he's been, he's brought value to the team, even though they didn't kind of stick with him long term. But I feel like the Knicks should stick with him, long term from this.
Well, when the LeBron James lost to the Spurs in the finals, okay, I don't know if you remember how old LeBron James was when he lost in the finals to the Spurs. LeBron James was 22 years old. Okay, Wemby is 22 years old, right? And looking at LeBron James's career, Wemby is still young. LeBron James learned a lot from his losses before he started to win some championships. And remember, Wemby's still only 22 years old. This guy's game is still evolving. And it's scary, to be honest with you. It's totally scary that his game is still evolving. But he cannot be a point guard. He cannot try to play point. He has to, at some point, get down there and bang with the big boys, right? Because he didn't want in the second half, he was tired. He didn't want no parts in the low post. He stayed out there. I mean, at one point, De'Aaron Fox was trying to do pick and roll with them, and he was trying to do a pick and pop, and it was turnover.
I saw that.
You remember that? I mean,
I saw that. I was like, what are you doing, dude? Like, it comes down to the person that has the ball. He has to see. He's trying to be like fancy and like do this fake no look pass. And like, you got to see where the guy is. You can't expect him to be where you want him to be every time, because depending on scenario, he may not dive. He may just pop out. And I mean, but at the same time, Wemby should be rolling to the basket instead of popping.
Yeah, why don't you take your 7 foot?
Like, come on, man.
Take your 7 foot ass and go to the basket. That's where I want
Keep
you
it
at.
real.
Don't you move
Keep it
from
real.
that low block because they can't stop you, right?
Yeah.
They can't stop you. I don't need you out here shooting threes. I got people to do that. Get down on the low block and give me this.
Yeah.
Give me the, and because they can't stop him when he's down there. They're gonna foul him or he's gonna dunk it.
The thing about it is, if he goes to the hole a lot more, it opens up the other guys. Like when your 7'5" self is out there with those other 3-point shooters, the flow is off. Yep. The person that should be in the inside is not there, and it's kind of weird. I know sometimes he's trying to drag the big out, and I can see that because he can't hit the three. But when that happens, the players have to know that big is out. Every time when I play, I was like, big is out. You know, go to the basket. Yeah, the big is not there to defend the basket. So it's the other players like IQ, and it kind of comes down to De'Aaron Fox because he's like the leader of the team, like you said earlier. And I feel like he should have more say. But when you think about it, because you said that, he hasn't won anything either. No, so when you break it down, he hasn't really won anything. So he doesn't know these scenarios, but he has the experience in the NBA. So that's why it kind of falls back on him and the coach, because like you're the general, you're the floor general of the team.
For all that trash that Wemby was talking in the first half, with this doing this and then getting the flagrant foul, getting almost head knocked off by Mitchell Robinson because he was talking that trash. He misses 2 free throws down the stretch, right? If you that guy and that dog, there's no way you can go to the free throw line. And I know the Garden was deafening. You cannot miss 2 free throws, right? And those points cost you a game also.
It didn't come down to that though. It was more.
Well, you know what? You missed.
That was a part of it. Yeah.
You missed 2 free throws, and you went, and you're supposed to be a superstar in this league.
Yeah.
And you was talking trash earlier in the game. You got to make those free throws, buddy. You got to make those free throws. So
those 2 points bit them in the butt. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean they lost by 1. So I mean, you know what? It's a lot of things that lock into it, but you got to make your free throws down the stretch if you're going to be a superstar in this league, and you got a chance to put the Knicks out. They could have salvaged this game. Even though the Knicks came back, the Spurs had a chance to salvage this game, but they blew it down the stretch once again, and it's kind of it's crazy. So that brings us to our last question: is can the Spurs mount a historic series come back down 3-1 like the historic comeback LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers had in 2016? The only one that has ever happened ever. All right, can the Spurs mount a historic series come back down 3-1?
Now, if you see Wemby post that LeBron did with the dark glasses just sitting there, then I could see if he can channel his inner LeBron, I guess it could happen. But it's tough because they let us down too many times to be down 3-1. Something catastrophic has happened to the Knicks for them to come back from this 3-1. I think the Knicks are going to try to knock them out this next game. But also from a revenue standpoint, I could see them allowing the Spurs to win at home, and then they win in New York. I could see that. That's a scenario too, but I can't see the Spurs coming back down 3-1. The way they've been playing, the way they've been giving up too many leads, it's hard to say they will win right now. I had them, if they won this game, I had them winning in 6. Yeah, in 6. But with this, I don't have them winning at all.
Justify it.
I can't justify it. I can't put my stamp of approval on anything with the Spurs right now because they let me down so many times.
Well, I'm not a fan of either one of these teams. You know, I'm just making predictions, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I'm a Cavs fan. So
at the end of the day, I will say this, right? Obviously, the whole world is thinking the Knicks is going to win this series, right? And by all rights, they should. But by all rights, on the flip side, if you can get a minute back of each total in the fourth quarter of each of these last three losses, then if you could get it back again and have a redo somehow, I think the Spurs could win 3 straight. but they would have to really clean up a lot of their problems. Now this is what I will say. If the Knicks believe that they could, if they don't win it on Saturday in San Antonio, and if the Knicks don't believe that the San Antonio could come back and beat them again, ask OKC. So this is a big climb. This is a big mountain to climb, and I'm not saying that they're going to win 3 straight, but you can't. If the Knicks let them off the hook in Game 5 and let the Spurs win that game, they've already proven that they could beat you on your home floor. They beat you in Game 3, and they beat you for 2 quarters in Game 4. That you had to pull a rabbit out of your butt to come back and win this game. So I think the key for the Knicks to win and put them away is in this next game, because there's no way I believe that nobody should be comfortable if the Spurs come back and win Game 5 at home and didn't have to go back to the Garden again. There's not a Knicks fan out there should have the confidence that their team can beat them at the Garden the way that they've played. Because to be honest with you, the Spurs are incredible. They had this letdown. I don't really think that if they don't win it Game 5, I mean, I'll be away for a few days next week. I know you're going to be away too, but we'll have to come on here and do a Lonnie and Friends real quick or something like that if this game goes to 7. But it's crazy.
If it goes to 7, I mean, it got to be rigged at this point, because like there's no way. I can't see the Knicks allowing them to get to 7 right now. Like the way they've been playing, and like something, like I said, something catastrophic has to happen for them to even make it to 7 at this point. I feel like the Knicks should win this next game, no matter if it's away or not, because of how the momentum they have right now. They would have to just miss all their shots, especially in the second half too, but they do well in the second half. They're like because of the coaching, they can, like, if they go down by 12 to 29 points in the first half, they have the coaching to go in and like tweak some things. And like, okay, we're going to start pushing the pedal to metal the end of the third quarter going to the fourth, like, really, with Brunson and everything. Because they know, like, teams know Brunson is going to take over in the fourth quarter. That's his quarter, right? So leading up to that, you have to rest your guys and know we have to keep that same energy in the fourth quarter. You can't have the pressure on in the first quarter, first and second quarter, and then take it off in the fourth. Like, right. You have to play all 4 quarters with Brunson, because I mean they stopped him in the first, then Brunson had something that did well in the second, then the third he was kind of off, but then in the fourth is where he always takes off. So that he's the top clutch player in the league. Like we know this. Everybody knows it. I'm not a coach. I'm not even playing. I didn't make it to the NBA. I was close, but we all know this. Like like everybody knows it. So why aren't we positioning ourselves to take him away? If we take him away, force everybody else to beat us.
Well, OG Anunoby to me is the MVP right now. I know everybody's looking at Brunson and what he's does, averaging 29, 28 points in this series, but OG has been the man. Remember, he's a champion, right? With the Toronto Raptors. He's a champion, and just his defense and how he plays both sides of the ball and his scoring and the things that that's done. I think, if he has another good game and they win the championship, I think a lot of reporters and everybody will pick him as the MVP of the series.
Yeah, definitely. I could see that. But the thing about it is with that, I feel like Brunson kind of opens that up for him because it's less pressure on him. He doesn't get double teamed and stuff like that. Brunson is getting 2 guys sent to him and try to take him away, but then it opens up. It makes the defense have to like scatter and try to find their other player as the pass is passed and he's already going up for the dunk. It's already because he's so smart, he can get to the open spot. Don't get me wrong, he's a great player, and I'm not trying to take anything away from him, but because of Brunson, it kind of gives him an open lane. Just like when Kevin Durant was playing in Golden State, you got 2 shooters on the outside, it opens up the lane where it's 1-on-1 every single time. And people were saying that he was like the GOAT because how he was playing. He wasn't double teamed. He can kill anybody 1-on-1, like most NBA players can, But I think that rotation on defense, because they're sending so many people at Brunson, it kind of opens him up a lot more. And I'm not taking anything away from Anunoby. He's a great player, a champion, and everything like that. But that's what I see. Brunson is like the key cog to all that. If you take Brunson away, if he's not in the game, then I don't know if they would be winning like this.
Well, I think in order for them to win a championship, I think Mikal Bridges and Landry Shamet, we have to have a sighting. They have to come to play. We have to have those guys play very well the next couple of games.
Where's the milk carton at?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They gotta if those two have games like they've had the last two games, I think they don't win in game 5. I think they're gonna need all hands on deck in order to go in there and beat them in game 5. I mean, all hands on deck, not just Brunson and Anunoby and Karl Anthony Towns, Cat. They're going to have another guy that comes to the party, either Landry Shamet or Mikal Bridges. And it's kind of disappointing to see them not play well at home because most players play well at home. They didn't play well at home the last 2 games. And luckily that they had these Brunson and Anunoby in this game to bring them back, and Alvarado come off the bench and give them a spark. But now it's a chess match. So now they figure, all right, so now we have a formula. We know that Alvarado and Brunson that could work. That could neutralize those big guards that they have, but it's not going to work again because they're going to know how to deal with that. So now it's going to be the punch, what the Spurs come back with, and then what the counterpunch is going to be from a lineup perspective of what Brown is going to do. So I think, man, hey, this is going to be must-see TV. If you don't want to watch these next game, I don't know what you're going to be doing. You might be on the plane and you can't get reception to watch the game because even on the game, even on the plane, they'll have this on the screen. Yeah. But even though I'm going away for a couple of days, I'm going to be watching this series from afar.
Yeah, I feel like I can't see if they try to go with that lineup with Alvarado in. We already know that I'm not trying to, I mean, he's an NBA player and all this stuff, but I feel like if you don't change anything, you just let Alvarado beat you then. Is he going to hit like 40-plus points, 30-plus points? I don't think so. Because his shot is not like.
And if he's doing that, Brunson ain't scoring. Somebody ain't scoring. And nobody ain't scoring. Or Brunson ain't scoring.
Yeah. So keep the pressure on Brunson and then the one last thing I want to talk about because, and I've seen it so many times, and I'm like every time the players get into the situation, they never attack him on defensive side. I don't understand why aren't they attacking Brunson? Biggest guys get on him.
Well, he had 2 steals in the second half, so he played better defense in the second half.
But the thing about it is, just like with Steph Curry, when he was playing, he's a scorer and everything, put the pressure on him. Make him play on the defensive side because it'll slow him down on the offensive side. Make him, anybody that Brunson is checking, go at him. Force him to play defense. Force him, get him tired. You have to go at him, especially if he switches in the big zone. You got to put him in the post. You got to do something. Like you can't. And then when Alvarado's checking Wemby and Wemby's not calling for the ball, like what are you doing? You under the basket and you jockeying for position with Alvarado, and you're not even calling for the ball. You like he's like pouting like, oh, this little in his French accent, he's like, oh, this little peasant like little small thing or whatever is on me. But that's how I feel like you should be going at these guys like. Especially Brunson because it'll slow him down for the fourth quarter. Like he won't be, but it's something in him though. He has that clutch gene, but he also has like a different like a tank. It's a different energy tank that he has in the fourth quarter. I don't know what it is.
Well, he really don't show emotion. It's just like his blank look on his face. Just looking at him like don't do like, but he's a sniper. He's a flat out dog, flat out sniper. 6'2", 6'1", 6 foot, whatever you're talking about. Brunson is a dog. We've known this for a little while, and the people who haven't been watching the Knicks, if this is the first time they seen Brunson play, he is a flat out dog. And the other thing is what I really want to say to finish this off is that they had a 29-point lead last night. The Spurs did, and Castle didn't even have a good game. He didn't have he didn't even have a good game. He was a little bit of foul trouble late in the game and stuff like that. So they wanted to get him out the game, but they played pretty decent defense in the first half, but they didn't have any scoring. But I was thinking at some point in the second half he was going to have to pick it up in order for them to maintain that lead, but they didn't get really anything from him. He hit a couple of free throws down the stretch, towards the end of last night's game, but you know, you have Vassell and you have Harper. They the one who killed you in the first half. But where was those guys in the second half, right? Where was those guys that you got to play 48 minutes? They didn't do anything in the second half, and the whole team kind of just sat back and was like, you know what? We just trying to run the clock out. And you know what happens every time a team, whether it's football or anything, try to run the clock out. You know, 28-3, just asked the, you know, I saw somebody, they changed the Spurs logo to the Falcons.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, the thing, I think the reason why they went away, because they kept trying to shoot the three because they got hot in the first quarter and they thought that was going to spill over to the second half. But you can't. That's why I was saying, like, when you're up 29, you got to start going to the hole, especially
if
when
it ain't working. Isn't it a little bit of arrogance though about the Spurs players? If
well,
it's not,
no. I don't think it's arrogant. I just think it plays into the
17% from 3-point range in the second half.
Hold on. I feel like because when you're an NBA player and that's how the NBA is ran, like 3-point shot, the analytics of it, they still fall into the analytics side, but they don't. It's the coaching too. The coach has to say, like, you know, let's try to get to the basket. Let's try to get them in foul trouble. Keep them in foul trouble and like keep the main guys off the court. That's why I say you got to go at Brunson. You got to go at Cat. You can't allow these guys to just, you know, you're taking your foot off the pedal by just shooting threes.
Well, clock management too.
That's what I'm saying.
We shouldn't be shooting the ball until the clock gets under 10. That's easy.
Shit, under 5.
Under like 5, under 10, whatever. With that lead, you're trying to
start making your attack at 7. So
yeah, at 10, you know, and then you get the ball to the low post. Then Wemby can, you know, distribute the ball to get wide open threes or easier shots.
They gonna suck down. They have to suck down. So it's like, I don't know.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy. Congratulations to the Knicks. Congratulations to the Knicks, but don't get comfortable. Finish this game, close this out, game 5, because you don't want to go back to the Garden understanding they already didn't beat you, and they had a 29-point lead at some, you know, in game 4. You don't want to go back to the Garden understanding that this Spurs team, you know, will they have a short memory? Do they have a short memory? Because they're human too. But if they go back and beat the brakes off the Knicks in game 5 and show that they have a short memory, I'm not that confident that the Knicks can beat them in game 5 convincingly to win the championship in the Madison Square Garden.
The way to beat the Knicks, keep your foot on the neck. You're up 29.
Don't go up 29. Don't go up 29. Keep the game.
No. Keep piling it on. Keep piling. Don't let your foot off the gas. Like, you have to keep going at them and like play the clock. Keep putting. Don't settle for threes when you're up by it. They got to catch you. You just go for 2s. I mean, if they start making, you know, if you're open, take the shot. But at the same time, you have to just keep going at them, forcing it down their throat, pretty much, like the offense going right at them. Like, you just go to the rack and get the fouls and stuff like that. It has to happen. Like, they have to stop settling for threes. You know, you can go like doing 60-some% is not. It's not sustainable through the whole series. Like, you have to be able to go to the rack too, and Wemby has to do more going to the hole too. I feel like that's what he's going to try to do. Wemby has to score at least 40 points, and everybody else has to be 40. Like that one game, he had 40, 24, and whatever. He has to have games like that to be, you know, to be an elite face of the NBA. He has to have those numbers because we've seen it. Jokic did it, you know, Jokic and won the championship. LeBron's done it before, you know, just different players that stepped up. Like when it's time to step up, you got to step up. No ifs, ands, or buts. You know, the coaching has to be better. It can't be like this. Oh, you know, it can't be another letdown moving forward. You have to be rocking on all cylinders. You can't play games with these Knicks because
who wins this game? Who wins this game 5? Who wins game 5? Prediction. We got to wrap it up. Who wins game 5?
I can't even say Spurs anymore because I've said it so many times. I feel like I'm jinxing them. You know, I'm rooting for them so much because, you know, of what I see on paper, they should be winning, but they're not executing. So, and with the coaching, I have to say Spurs got to win this game. It's a must win, obviously, because if they lose, they're out. So I have the Spurs. I have to say Spurs.
Well, I'm going to say Spurs too, because there's not like the NBA don't need any more drama. But I'm gonna tell you right now, if the Spurs win this game in Game 5, and you go back to New York, understanding what the Spurs have been able to do in New York, despite giving up a 29-point lead, just getting to that 29-point lead was just mind-boggling for everybody. Everybody was stunned. I think if you let the Spurs off the hook and don't get this championship sold up, because everybody right now in New York is thinking we got the title.
Yeah.
Don't snooze on this young Spurs team. All right. Now, this is probably going to be our last Chasing the Highlights podcast until football camp starts up. But we can still get up on here real quick if there's some developments that happen beyond Game 5. So, we're going to wrap it up now. Tony, any last thoughts?
Just win, baby. Come on,
Go
Spurs.
New York, go New York, go. Yeah, on the blue sky, baby, on this guy. You know what? Congratulations to the Knicks. Finish the job. Don't let these young whippersnappers get off the hook because they can play. And you don't want to be in a position to where you got a Game 7 or Game 6 and everybody's sweating bullets because you put more pressure on yourself and you don't play well when you got a lot of pressure on you either. The way they came back, in all those instances that the Knicks came back, they had no pressure on them because they didn't have nothing to lose at that point, and they played free. Sometimes when you play at home, you play even more tight. And now it's going to be able to, we're going to see if the Spurs play tight at home, understanding, or can they just say, you know what, we have nothing to lose anymore. Let's just go out here and play free. And when a team like the Spurs, that's talented like the Spurs, play free, they're even more dangerous. So we'll see. We'll see how it pans out. All right, so we're going to wrap it up, guys. This has been the Chasing the Highlights podcast. My name is Lonnie Washington, along with my co-partner here, Tony Robinson. See you guys on the other end, and let's see what happens. Peace.
Come alive, 2X players in the studio.